Over the past few years, OM System have been releasing unique lenses that cover expansive focal ranges so that you can cut down on the amount of gear that you have to take with you out in the field. And the M.Zuiko digital ED 50 to 200mm f2.8 IS Pro lens is no different. With a 35mm equivalent of 100 to 400mm or up to 800mm with a 2x teleconverter, this lens is perfect for wildlife, birds, macro, outdoor sports and landscapes. Not only that, but when it's paired with a camera such as the OM1 Mark II, this entire kit weighs in at just under 1700 grams, which is fantastic news for my back. Let's see what it can do. But as usual, before I get out and test it out, let's go through some of the key features of the lens. It weighs just over a kilogram at 1075 grams, which is significantly lighter than other lenses with this focal range and measures just 213.6 by 160.5 millimeters. The lens has been constructed from 21 elements in 13 groups, including one EDA lens, 2 Super ED lenses, 1 ED lens, 2 HR lenses and 3 EHR lenses. The front element features a 0.2 coating to minimise flaring, boasts an inner zoom lens structure for better balance and has a 9-blade circular aperture diaphragm. There is a constant aperture of f2.8 along with 7 stops of image stabilisation as well as 5-axis sync image stabilisation. It also features an IP53 weather rating, which means that you can pretty much use it anywhere. The lens features rubber focus and zoom rings, 4 custom function buttons that are easy to use in both vertical and horizontal orientations, a focus limiter switch, focus mode switch, image stabilization switch, a preset switch, and a set button switch that allows you to save the current focus position for later recall. Lastly, it is compatible with both the 1.4 and 2x teleconverters, with the 1.4x offering up to 560mm and the 2x up to 800mm. I happen to have the 2x teleconverter with me and I'm going to be using that pretty much for the duration of this video. So let's go out and test out the focal range of this incredible lens. I was joking earlier about having a bad back, but that's not strictly untrue. One thing that I've noticed as I've gotten older, carrying around telephoto lenses definitely takes its toll on me. But I was actually very pleasantly surprised when I heard that I was going to be taking this one out, not only because of the weight, the expansive focal range, like I said, up to 800mm with the 2x teleconverter on there, but also we got that internal zoom mechanism, which is just so much better for balance, and it's just going to make my life that much easier today. So let's have we've got some subjects here, so let's get into it. So here we are at the 200mm equivalent. Now we are zoomed right into 800mm, and the stabilization on this thing is insane. It's like nothing. It's barely moving at all. That's so good. The stabilization was so good that I decided that I would keep the 2x teleconverter mounted for the rest of the day. While I would lose a little on the wider angle of the lens, 200mm is a great starting point for wildlife, bird and sports photography, and this would grant me access to 800mm at a moment's notice. This would mean that I would be losing a few stops, however, as the aperture would now be at 5.6, but I could always take it off if need be. As I mentioned in the key features, the lens weighs just 1,250 grams, and that's with the tripod collar mounted. But even with the teleconverter and camera, this whole setup weighs in at just under 2 kilograms. When you pair this with the internal zoom mechanism and the excellent image stabilization, I found myself able to stay zoomed out at 800mm with no issues whatsoever. To further aid to the versatility, the lens offers some truly impressive close-up and macro capabilities, which we'll get to a little later in the video. Also, get used to me talking about the impressive stabilization throughout this video, because I'm going to be mentioning it again. I thought now would be as good a time as any, I suppose, to go through the shutter speed capabilities of the lens, because it's capable of up to 50 frames per second continuous autofocus, which is incredibly handy with wildlife, obviously. Not only that, that's further aided by the the constant f2.8 aperture of the lens, which can give us up to 2 ISO stops lower than a comparable lens with an f5.6 aperture. Very impressive. I'm really enjoying using this lens so far. The focal reach that you've got is just so useful. The image stabilization is absolutely perfect. You know, the shutter speed is great as well. So it's unfortunately though, it's I think I was pointing the GoPro at me, not the birds, but at least the camera was pointing in the right direction. That's all that matters. That is all that matters, as you can see in these burst shots I managed to capture. I was particularly impressed at how well the lens was able to keep up with the subject, even when set against the dreary river. It's very, very breezy at the moment. Things are fairly quiet at the minute, so I thought I'd utilise that time to go through some of the macro capabilities of this lens, because it's a very versatile beast. I was going to say creature, then again I just said beast, so it's the same thing. Yeah, very versatile lens indeed. First of all, it is capable of focus stacking, which is going to be very handy for anyone looking to do macro work. The lens has a maximum magnification of 0.5 times. That's on its own. However, when you have it paired with the 2x teleconverter, you get a 1-to-1, which is fantastic. And also we have a close focusing distance of 0.78 meters. That's good news when you're actually in a closer proximity to your subject. That would certainly be the case with my next set of subjects. The 78cm close focus distance allowed me to get a little closer, while the zoom length did the rest. The lightweight nature of this setup also meant that I was able to take shots from a lower perspective while using the tilt LCD of the camera, not always something that is possible with lenses of this range. This combination is also perfect for macro and insects. The versatility afforded by this lens is something else. To be able to zoom in on subjects hundreds of meters away 1 second, to then be able to hone in on bees and butterflies less than a meter away from me without having to change anything is just so useful. Something I completely forgot to mention as well was the 90-degree throw of the lens. Oh, I nearly did it with just the thumb then, so yeah, just from 50 to 200 mil. Pretty good, pretty good. I'm trying to be quiet. Something that the lens is also good for, though not specifically designed for, is landscapes. You can get very unique compositions and much more detailed shots than you would with a wide-angle lens. So I'm going to head to another location just now, and hopefully I'll be able to show you just that, what we can do with it. Very versatile lens, macro, wildlife, sports, landscapes, fantastic. While I wasn't able to capture any decent landscape shots, I was able to get a few more fast-moving subjects out on the banks of the River Severn. I've said it before, and I'll say it again in the outro, but the stabilisation on this lens is a truly joyous affair. So my time with the OM System 50 to 200mm lens has sadly come to a close, but I've had an absolute blast with this lens. It's such, I mean, with the 2x teleconverter, you have essentially 100 to 800mm at your disposal in a single lens, and it only weighs 1,075 grams. I think the teleconverter is about another 200 grams or something like that, but when you consider that to what you would normally have to carry, that's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And you've got that f2.8 aperture as well. The image quality is fantastic. The image stabilization is just ridiculous. Even when extended to 800mm, I've had no issues using this whatsoever. It is so stable. 7 stops of image stabilization with the sync stabilization as well. It's just insanely good. You've got the macro capabilities there. You've got the 50 frames per second continuous autofocus that it's capable of capturing, and you can even do landscapes with it. I haven't really managed to get many today, to be quite honest, but you know, it's there. Usually I have some form of criticism, but I just don't with this lens. The focal length that you get, the quality that you get, the image stabilization you get, the lack of weight, all in one lens. Not only is the lens lightweight, but it saves you having to carry so many other pieces of equipment. It's just, I've absolutely had a great time with this lens today. If you do require more information on the 50 to 200mm, make sure that you click the link in the description. Make sure that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on further Clifton Cameras videos. And until next time, I'll see you then. I've still got a little bit of time with this, so I'm actually gonna enjoy this without the camera. No offense.